This is your 420 Radio News for Wednesday, August 21st, 2013. I'm Russ Belville. Obama does not support changes to medical marijuana laws at this time. This from Huffington Post. White House spokesman Josh Earnest was asked for the second day in a row if CNN chief medical correspondent Sanjay Gupta's recent reversal on medical marijuana use and his apology for misleading the public had any bearing on Obama's position on the issue. The administration's position has been clear and consistent for some time now that while the prosecution of drug trafficking remains an important priority, said Earnest, the president and the administration believe that targeting individual marijuana users, especially those with serious illnesses and their caregivers, is not the best allocation of federal law enforcement resources. I looked it up, and the president last talked about this in an interview he had with Barbara Walters in December when she asked a similar question. The president acknowledged that the priority in terms of the dedication of law enforcement resources should be targeted toward drug kingpins, traffickers, and others who perpetuate violence in the conduct of the drug trade. That is the best use of our law enforcement resources. But at the same time, the president does not at this point advocate a change in the law. That's the official statement from the Obama White House. And as Huffington Post reported Tuesday, the Obama administration has cracked down hard on medical marijuana, even in states that have legalized its use. A recent report found that this administration spent nearly $300 million on medical marijuana intervention through lawsuits, indictments, and asset forfeiture attempts by the Justice Department. Ann Arbor medical marijuana dispensary raided by the DEA, from AnnArbor.com. Federal authorities raided People's Choice Alternative Medicine, a medical marijuana dispensary on Ann Arbor's west side, Tuesday afternoon. Drug Enforcement Administration Special Agent Rich Isaacson confirmed to AnnArbor.com that federal agents executed a search warrant Tuesday at the dispensary near Stadium Boulevard. No one from People's Choice was available to comment about the raid when an AnnArbor.com reporter went to the dispensary Tuesday afternoon. A sign on the door said, "People's Choice is closed until further notice. Sorry for the inconvenience." It's the second such raid by the DEA in Washtenaw County in a month. On July 30th, a search warrant was executed at The Shop, a medical marijuana dispensary in Ypsilanti. State officials say DOJ has given tacit approval for legalized marijuana, from Talking Points memo. Colorado officials say they believe they have tacit approval from the U.S. Justice Department to implement voter-approved laws legalizing marijuana. Another source directly involved with conversations with Justice, who asked not to be named to speak freely about private discussions, agreed with that characterization. The source stressed that Justice had not explicitly said that legalization would be allowed to continue, but the department has been routinely updated as the state has passed legislation and rules setting up a retail industry for marijuana, and has not told state authorities to stop that implementation. Retail operations are scheduled to open in January under the new law. Federal officials declined to comment. Quote, "The department continues to review the initiatives in Washington and Colorado," end quote, Justice Department spokesperson Allison Price said in a statement to Talking Points memo. House Republicans want drug tests for food stamp recipients, from Washington Post. 2/3 of beneficiaries in the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, or SNAP, are children, elderly, or people with disabilities. Benefits are modest, with the average recipient receiving about $133 per month. Because of the recession, caseloads have grown from 26 million in 2007 to 46 million 4 years later. SNAP expenditures have increased from 35 billion in 2007 to 80 billion in 2012. In response, House leaders are now proposing to cut 40 billion from SNAP over time. They also want to allow states to drug test SNAP applicants. SNAP recipients are somewhat more likely than others to use or misuse illicit substances. About 24% of SNAP recipients and 16% of those who don't get SNAP have used at least one illicit substance in the past year. This drops to 13.1% for SNAP recipients and 7.5% for non-recipients if one excludes marijuana. And if one excludes marijuana, then abuse or dependence of other illicit substances is rare within the SNAP population. By far, the most common substance use disorders among SNAP recipients and among the general population arise from alcohol use, behaviors generally left undetected by drug testing. Brian Phillips, Medical-Meth user, fights Indian tribe for return of his truck. California resident Brian Phillips insists the Salt River Pima Maricopa Indian community stole his $25,000 Toyota Tundra pickup. The vehicle was seized under tribal law in December after a security guard caught him smoking pot in the parking lot of a casino. The tribe also took his 2 ounces of hashish, 8 ball of crystal meth, marijuana, and pain pills. He considers his meth medical for relief of his sciatica pain. This has been your 420 Radio News for Wednesday, August 21st, 2013. I'm Russ Belville. When we come back, we have live video from The Toys performing Smoke Two Joints at the HempFest main stage this last weekend. We will follow that with the Cannabis Community Chat, the Seattle HempFest Hemposium panel on legalization across the United States, featuring Sharon Rayburn, Rebecca Forbes, Michael Kravitz, and Brandy Zink. You're listening to The Russ Belville Show on 420radio.org. We'll be right back.